Hello and welcome back to Mars for another nature figure review. Today we're looking at one of my most anticipated figures of the year, that of course being the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Attack Titan, aka Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. This figure, it looks great, it feels great, so let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging here. I love how on the left you get the figure. On the right, you can see that it is coming from Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi. They just want to emphasize where this product is coming from. We also get at the top of the box the logo for Attack on Titan. Now, at the back of the box, we see some promotional images that we have for the figure, and they look good. You see all the accessories that come with the figure, which is great as well. Then you also get all the legal stuff. On the side of the box, you get some more promotional images, you get some more kanji, you get some more Attack on Titan logos. And then on the side of the box, you can actually lay this horizontal and you can see again Revoltech Attack Titan. So yeah, this is a pretty nice standard, nothing too crazy for the packaging, and I enjoyed it a lot. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this figure out of the box and see what all it comes with. When it comes to the Attack Titan, it's a little bare-boned, but for me personally, I love that it doesn't have overwhelming accessories, though I would say I think they should have included a small little miniature statue of Eren before, he transforms into the Attack Titan. I think that would have been a very awesome accessory to have for all of the Titans that we're going to be getting from Revoltech. Now, if you did pre-order this figure, very quickly on the import sites, you did get this exclusive head sculpt or faceplate. It looks really good, and I would argue that this is necessary to have the complete set for this figure. As we look at the figure, you can see you're going to be getting the figure itself. You're going to be getting 4 sets of hands. Now, these hands do come on the hand bracket, just like the Ryu Hayabusa did, so hopefully they go onto the figure very easily. You're getting 2 display hair options as well. You've got your official kaiyodo stand. And then you're also going to be getting this piece right here. Now this piece is used to move the eyes around for the faceplates, which is pretty cool. We're going to have some wicked shots of that. And then lastly, you get this additional peg should anything break for the figure. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and get this figure out of the plastic and start off with some size comparisons. For our first size comparison, we have the American brand Jazzwares Attack on Titan Eren Yeager from their Total anime line. And I think he scales pretty well up next beside the Attack Titan, though obviously with this being an American brand figure, the scaling is going to be taller with the import figure. Up next, we have Revoltech's Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden 2. We did a review on this figure a few weeks ago, so make sure you go and check that review out, as this figure is pretty damn cool. As you can see, with this being another Revoltech figure, they scale perfectly together. One brief little thing I will say is that for me, my gripe with Revoltech is going to be like the thighs and how their thighs are done. I can tell you I enjoy a lot more the Attack Titan than I do Ryu Hayabusa. Both great figures and both worth checking out. Up next, we have the Mezco Toys Mosquatch. If you don't know about this character, it's one of Mezco Toys' personal IP figures, and it looks pretty good, as you can see for yourself. But yeah, he scales taller than Eren the Attack Titan, which I think is going to be perfect for a little Titan on Titan action at the end of the review here. Looks pretty good, awesome figure to have in your collection, but just look how nice Eren complements the figure, and they both complement each other very well, which I think is important and, surprising. To end off the size comparisons, we have Jada Toys Ultra Street Fighter 2 Chun-Li, and then on the right, we have SH Figuarts Kazuya Mishima. So I think these figures all scale well together. Although Chun-Li is an American product, it scales well with the import products as well. A little bit too tall, I would probably add, especially for Kazuya. You can see how much bigger she is than Kazuya. But for the Attack Titan, I think it scales properly together. And yeah, I'm enjoying all of these comparisons so far. Now, let's bring this figure in and have a closer look at some of this amazing detail from Revoltech. I'm just going to say it now. This figure has amazing sculpts all the way through. You can see here with the muscle tendons and the structure. It just looks so damn good. Even back here at the buttocks, the muscle detail is there. The shading for the figure is also there as well. I mean, the figure just looks really good, and for it being bare bone, you know, it's understandable why a lot of people want to use this figure as a custom, because look at how great the default body looks. Now, there are some things here, like the hole in the back, but that's just the Revoltech figure for you. And then there's a constant consistency with this figure, except for down at the feet where you can see like the metal pegs and stuff. For some people, that might be a turn off, but for me, I think that's great when you have that same consistent look all the way through, and then you get down here and it's like a little metal there, a little shine there. You know, I think it looks cool. It gives it flair. So yeah, presentation wise, this figure looks incredible. And then with the sun reflecting off of it too, I mean, it just looks really damn clean. Now, unfortunately, with my figure, the hairpiece, this is not the default hairpiece. The actual default hairpiece, it sucks. At least for my copy, it sucks. It won't even fit into the groove, or I guess it will fit into the groove, but it doesn't stay into the groove, and it falls off pretty easily. So for me, that kind of is a buzzkill. But luckily, the other hairpiece looks great, looks better, and it fits better as well. So that will be the display I'm going to go with. And I would say mostly all of you will too. It just looks better with the hair flared in different directions as opposed for it just laying down. Now, let's go ahead and get into the articulation for the Attack Titan. Before we continue into the articulation for this figure, I want to tell you two things. One, this is the default hairpiece the figure comes with. It is now starting to stay, which I think is great, so scratch what I said earlier. And the second thing is going to be this exclusive faceplate that the figure comes with. We're going to go ahead and swap those out so you can see what it looks like. Now, getting into the articulation, to be honest, I'm not too familiar with Revoltech. This is, again, my third figure I've reviewed here on the channel. But what I can tell you is that articulation-wise, this figure, Revoltech figures in general are kind of hated because they have those exposed joints you can see up here in the shoulder. Now, this figure does a really great job of hiding those. But you can see, like, for an example here, I mean, you can still get some pretty good range with this figure, which I think is pretty good for them. That's just like the one complaint you'll see like with the Revoltech figures. You can see how kind of funky and wild, you know, it can kind of get with these figures here. But hey, it feels great and it moves great too, as far as posing. So let's go ahead and just get into some poses here. Oh, you can kind of see the faceplate almost came off there, but it looks like we're still intact, so that's a good sign. Let's go ahead. We'll start at the head and work our way down. You can see this figure can look up this much, he can look down this much here. And you've got like an extra joint here at like the collarbone area, so where he can really get that deep look down, which I think is cool. That would make for some great shots there. And then for looking up, kind of still the same. The only negative I would say is you see this gap right here, and that's about it. He can look side to side as well and lean side to side. So good articulation in the head and neck there. For the arms, he can hit that T-pose no problem. And you can, again, well, I guess you really can't rotate around. And you can see here how on this joint and then on this joint, the difference, like this one's just clear and that one has a little circle in there. So I guess you could kind of flip that around somehow. Not too sure. For the elbows, double jointed elbows there, you can see how nice they go for the figure. And then you've got some amazing butterfly joints. Now, the one thing I do like about their butterfly joints is that they have like this one little piece right here, and they go all the way back. Look at that. And then all the way forward there. So I really like the butterfly joints for this figure and how it's done. And then for the upper torso, he can twist and rock there as well. Looks great, feels great. And then at the waist is going to be a little bit more tight because you got all these legs down here. So you can see kind of like if he was to, let's see, strike a pose, something like, ooh, see how the leg kind of just bent like that? I don't know, something random, but there's a pose for you. And then for the legs, you can kind of get a split here. Oh, you can definitely get a split. Looks good for the figure right now. Looking good. Oh, and there goes the hair there. Okay, so split you can do. And this one's a little tight on this leg. Knees, double jointed knees. You do have a leg swivel here at or a thigh swivel, I should say. And then you've got a swivel there at the upper thigh. So a lot of stuff's going on down here at the legs. You can see how the tendons and all that stuff looks. Great sculpting from Revoltech, honestly. You can see there again how it looks. And then for the feet, let's get our feet done. Oh, we do have our calf swivel as well. And for the feet, it does extend out. And then you have your toe pivot there and some rocker movement to go with that. So yeah, articulation-wise, you know, if you are familiar with Revoltech, then you kind of know what to expect with this figure. If you're not familiar with Revoltech, you kind of just seen how the articulation goes for this figure and how the different poses are, and then of course, you know, the exposed joints and all of that good stuff. But all in all, I mean, for articulation, this is pretty good. It's just something you have to get used to if you're not familiar with import figures and things like that. But yeah, stellar articulation. Now let's go ahead and look at some of the accessories and then wrap up with the conclusion. Come to think of it, we've pretty much covered everything for this release except for the sets of hands. So let's go ahead and get into that. Obviously, we know the closed fist that the figure comes with, but you're also going to be getting his Titan Power fist hands, the hardening effect hands there, which is pretty cool. You're going to be getting some gripping hands and then some relaxed hands, making a grand total of 4 sets of hands, including the closed fist that the figures come with. So yeah, pretty bare bone when it comes to the accessories. You're only getting the 1 faceplate that the figure comes with, the 2 display hair options, and then the pairs of hands, the stand, and that's pretty much all you're going to be getting unless you pre-order the exclusive online version of this figure. That's pretty much it. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the final conclusion for the Attack Titan, aka Eren Yeager. For only being the 3rd Revoltech figure reviewed on the channel, I gotta say it's my favorite so far. I'm looking forward to the additional releases coming out later this year. We have the Armored Titan and the Female Titan, so if you want to see those reviews in the nature setting, make sure you subscribe today if you haven't already. Unlike the Ryu Hayabusa Revoltech figure, I had no issues when swapping out the pairs of hands for this figure, so that is a huge plus in my book. If you haven't seen the Ryu Hayabusa review, make sure you go and check that out. If you enjoyed this nature review, make sure you drop a like, as this is a new format we are going with for M.A.R.S, subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you all in the next review. Until then, have a great day and peace.